Let me take you back in time for a minute. It was 8th grade, and the assignment that we were given was to give an oral book report on a book of our choosing. For this, I had chosen The Hobbit. Now, just to clarify, this was 20 years ago. This was before the Lord of the Rings movies. This was before the Hobbit trilogy that's partially out and going to be coming out. This was before any of these movies were even a gleam in Peter Jackson's eye. I was ahead of the curve on this one. Anyway, my point. I was in front of the class, and it was my responsibility now to give a speech on The Hobbit. And I remember standing there and staring at the class and being absolutely terrified, nauseous terrified. And that's when I decided that if it was up to me, from that point on for the rest of my life, I would never give another public speaking speech in my life. Hello, and welcome to my final speech of this class, my Comm-154 DL2 Experience. What I'm going to be covering is my favorite assignment of the class, what my least favorite assignment was, and some advice I have to incoming students. First off, a long time ago, I heard that public speaking is the #1 fear of the average person. Now, taken out of context, that's ridiculous. We live in a world with bears, with spiders, with snakes, and the #1 fear you have is of speaking in front of people. It doesn't make any sense at all. But then, put me in front of a room full of people and have them give a speech, and I'd be praying for a bear or a spider to jump out and attack me just to avoid having to do that. Overall, though, I think because of this class, I learned a lot, and I'm not in that same situation anymore. I think I got better at public speaking, and I think I worked through a lot of the fears I had with speaking in front of people and speaking in general. Now, is this class the same as taking it in a classroom? No. It's better and it's worse. It's better in the sense that speaking to the camera definitely is not like speaking in front of a room of people. If I had to give this speech in front of a class, I would probably be nervous and nauseous for the day or two before I had to give the speech. Going up to it, I'd be sweating, I'd be red-faced and terrified. But then once you actually start speaking, you tend to calm down and everything goes a lot better after that. So in that sense, the classroom is worse. But at the same time, speaking to a camera can be pretty difficult at the same also. And having to give a 9-minute, 8-minute, 7-minute speech, some of these were, to a camera, and realizing that everything you say is going to be recorded so people can pause and rewind and watch every mistake you make is a little bit different. In the classroom, you give the speech after it's over, hopefully you taught people something, but they're going to walk away with a general feeling of the speech. They're not going to remember specifics unless you screw up or anything like that. But to a camera, just hit rewind, and you'll be able to see every mistake that person makes, and it'll be there forever. So even though it's not the same experience doing it online, you still get a lot of the same skills from it. And I think in my case especially, I've become a lot more comfortable with speaking in front of people and knowing how to do that. The topic I liked the most for this class was the informative speech I did on the history of video games. It's a topic I enjoy very much. I love video games. I don't play them as much as I'd like to because I do have a daughter at home now, but I enjoyed the speech. I liked the research doing it. I learned a lot about the history that I wasn't aware of beforehand, and I thought it was pretty well done on my own part, if I do say so myself. The topic I liked the least was the persuasive speech I did on why you should buy Energy Star appliances. I picked this topic because I couldn't really think of anything I was really passionate about that I wanted to speak about, and I work as an appliance salesperson, so I figured I have a lot of knowledge in this field already, so why not speak about something that I already have some information about. And I had to do a lot of research on it. I did learn some things that will help me in my job do better sales, but when you do something for 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week, you can kind of get sick of talking about it, and then to give a speech about that very topic, I think I did a good job on the speech overall again, but it was definitely not my favorite assignment of the ones that we did. If I had some advice to give to a new student coming into this class, I would say that e-learning is a great thing. Personally, I work a full-time job, 40 hours a week, and I have an hour commute to get to and from work, so that takes up a lot of my life. It's very irregular hours. Some days I have to be at work at 6 a.m. Some days I don't get home until 10:30 at night. So I have long hours sometimes. I work far away. I have an 8-month-old daughter at home, and also I'm going to school. If it wasn't for e-learning, I wouldn't be able to do all these things. I would have to cut something out of my life, and it most likely would have to be school. There's really no option there. So the advice I would give is take this class. Go online learning, and I think it's a wonderful thing to go ahead with if you need to do schooling and you just don't have the time in your regular life. Now, like I said, I don't think online public speaking is quite the same as a classroom, but I think in the end you get the same skill set, you do get much better at speaking overall, and I think it's definitely worthwhile to do. It's a great alternative, and in the end, it's worth it. Now, to close, I hope from watching this you learned what my favorite speech was, my least favorite. I hope you learned a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. And I'd like to say that I'm definitely going to continue my education online. I'm going to be signing up for the spring semester very soon. I should have probably done that by now, definitely, most people would say. And I absolutely recommend e-learning to everyone, and I am going to be continuing my education in this way in the future. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a great holiday, and take care. Goodbye.